What's going on, guys? It's Switch here, Zach, and I'm back with a brand new video. Today we got something similar to my last video, but a little bit different. This one is Call of Duty Guns tier list. So, like I said, I did a tier list in my last video. I'm aware of that, but this one's a little bit different. We're rating the guns. Last time we rated the games. The guns are going to be a little bit different because even in some games that I didn't care for as much, I might have liked the guns. I got them in order down here. We got the three most commonly used weapons, especially in like a competitive setting, in every game, all the way from Black Ops 2 to Vanguard. I'm not ranking MW2, MW3 the last 2 years because who gives a fuck about those games, right? Um, I can tell you that my opinion is going to be different than your opinion, but my opinion is the correct one. So do with that what you will. We're going to start and we're going to go in order. The very first gun is the MSMC. I think that this gun is amazing, but I think that a lot of people look at it through like rose-colored lenses. I don't think it's an S tier. I might come back and change it. I just remember the hit reg on that game being kinda dog. So I think I'm gonna put it in A for now. It's a phenomenal gun. I love it to death, but I think it's A tier. Next up, the M8A1 from Black Ops 2. That's also going to go in A tier. Similar situation. Actually no, it's S tier because the feeling of getting a one burst in that game with the hit reg the way it was, beautiful. I love the way it looked. I love the way it felt. You know what? It's going to sit in S tier, and I think that makes sense for everyone, right? The next gun. I've seen this tattooed on people a bunch. I'm not against the idea of getting it tattooed on myself. I love it that fucking much. That is S tier. The DSR, especially pre-patch. Ugh. Fuck, man, that gun was great. I love the ballista too. But like I said, I couldn't have every good gun from every game. Otherwise, we'd be here for 35 minutes. Nobody wants to hear my voice for that long, right? Next is moving on to Ghost. This is my favorite Call of Duty of all time. Competitively, pubs in that game were ass. I'll admit that. I don't like playing pubs on that game. I never really did like playing pubs in that game, but I love playing like S&D tournaments and Respawn. Best search and destroy COD of all time, but it wasn't a great pub game. So remember, I'm rating this on behalf of a competitive player, somebody who wasted like 12 years of his life trying to make it, right? The Vector is so good. So good. I think the Vector is going to go in S tier as well. I mean, you could chow across the map. You could four bullet someone from one side of Sovereign to the other. It was quick. It had a quick pull up time, quick TTK. I mean, every gun had a quick TTK in that game, but man, that gun was gorgeous. I loved it. The Remington, it's good. Not as good as the Vector. I mean, obviously you need a Remington on your team. The Remy R5, I think, is gonna go in A tier. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Quick time to kill. Felt great, looked great, worked great, but it's going to go in A. The USR. It's not the best sniper on this list. I don't think it's the worst sniper on this list. I think it's going to go in C. I think it's going to go in C. It was a fun gun. It was alright. With a thermal on it, it was nice. Money 8s, they always ban thermal, so it's okay, but I think it's a C tier gun. The ASM-1. ASM-1 was fun as hell. It depended on when you used it, like the patch you used it on. I think this goes in B tier. I think it's just a good gun, solid. Not phenomenal, not dog, just solid. The BAL though, the BAL's S tier. I mean that gun, I mean it was literally ballot duty advanced warfare that year. Like the whole year it was just BALs. I remember when the first 2 months the game came out, it was 8 BALs on the map. It was ridiculous. But the BAL is an S tier gun. I won't be told otherwise. Argue with me. Go ahead. Argue with me. It's an S tier gun. Okay. The Moors. Fuck. I'm trying not to be super duper biased. It is my list though, I guess. Um. The Moors. Fuck, I love that gun so much. I gotta put it in A. I want to put it in S, but I'll put it in A. It was so fun. I was a demon with the Morris Atlas 45 combo. Hit him with the bolt, whip out the pistol, ping, 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 ping. That shit was electric. But I can't put it in S, especially if I want you all to watch another video of mine. So it's gonna go in A. The Kuda. I thought about putting the VMP in there instead of the Kuda, but the Kuda was used a lot recently, especially in like off-season games, and I was never a big fan of the VMP. I probably would have put it in D, to be honest. Kuda's decent, not great. I think it's gonna go in C. I mean, it's a solid gun, but I think it's gonna go in C. The M8A7. I prefer the M8A1 from Black Ops 2. The M8 in Black Ops 3 was great though. I think what made Black Ops 3 one of the best Call of Duties of all time was the movement and the mechanics. I don't necessarily think it was the guns. I think the M8A7 is gonna go in B, but it might move up to A. It might go up to A, but for now it's gonna be in B. What is this called? Goodness gracious, the sniper. I don't know, SVG or something. Eh. I think honestly it's my least favorite sniper on this list. I wasn't much of a sniper in BO3. I didn't play a whole lot of BO3 when it was out. I think this is going to go in D tier. Be mad at me in the comments if you want to, but I just didn't care for it much. It wasn't really that good. All right, moving on to IW. Can I just breeze through IW? Everyone wants to forget that year anyway, right? I'm just gonna kind of breeze through IW. I think that the K bar was B tier. I think the NV4 was C, and I think the ERAD was D. Moving on. Call of Duty World War II. I love that game. I know that most of you probably hated that game, but I loved it. The PPSH is so fun to use. I think it had a good balance because you're not mapping people with it. I think it's an A tier gun. I think the STG in that game probably a B tier gun, probably. PPSH was so fun to use. STG was a good gun, but it felt kind of heavy, kind of clunky. I mean, that whole game kind of felt heavy, but I wasn't a big STG guy. I liked the bar, but the bar was kind of OP. And then the Kar 98 in World War II. It's an S tier sniper. No, it's an A tier sniper. I think the only sniper that should be in S tier is the DSR. I'm making that rule right now. I'm not going to change my mind. DSR is the only S tier sniper. Alright, moving on. Black Ops 4. Stim shot. Fucking just mid of duty. I don't know, it was okay. Movement was nice. I like the mechanics, but the fucking guns were meh. SOG's going to go in C tier. When we're talking about a starting SMG in a game, this is the main SMG used competitively. It was a C tier in comparison to the Vector, to the MSMC, to the ASM-1. Period. I mean, Kuda, I think, is probably better than the SOG. The SOG was, with double stock, it was cheesy. I mean, it wasn't that good. It's just, whatever. You'll get over it. The Maddox was great, though, especially if you're a crack-aiming psychopath like some of my friends. I was not the crack-aiming psychopath. I was a grapple SOG, so my life was hard in that game. But the Maddox, it was fun. I think Maddox is going to go in B. Maybe A. It might move up to A. Ooh, that's hard. No, it's going to stay in B. It's going to stay in B. The ICR, double grip. Give that to your mailbox of the team, the guy who likes to sit in the back of the map with the snapback. I mean, it's C. Just double grip, just spraying down a lane. No skill involved, no recoil. It's just whatever. It's mid. You guys know. MW19. Another year a lot of people probably want to forget. I actually had a lot of fun on that game, but that's just because of my Money 8s group. You know, every night getting on playing Money 8s with the group. There's only like one good map on that game. The guns were I mean, actually, I like the gunplay in that game. I think the MP5 in that game was really fun to use. I think the MP5 is going to land in A here. And I think that the M4 is going to land in B. Just off of how fun they were to use. I think the M4 was the better gun. But I think when it comes down to using it, that's what I'm rating it on, by the way. I should have prefaced this. It's being rated on how fun it was for me to use the gun in the game. Okay? So I had a lot more fun with the MP5 than the M4. Even though I'm aware the M4 was the better gun. I think the MP5's A, M4's B. The AX50 in that game, I think that's going to ride the bench. I would rather use any of the snipers above it. It wasn't a bad gun, but whatever. Alright, moving on to Cold War. This is one of the most popular CODs of recent date. I kind of sucked at Cold War, to be honest. I remember a buddy of mine named Adrian completely smacked me across the map with the 7.4U when I had a Craig, but he was just a lot better than me at the time. I think the 7.4U, for me, remember, this is for me personally, is gonna be a maybe a B. I think it's a B. I think that the Craig is an A. And then the Pellington was the sniper. It, upper chest or up. I think it was a one shot. It had a nice, sprint to aim time. It was a nice feeling sniper rifle. I think it's gonna go in C. Maybe right here, to be honest. I think I like the USR more. And then Vanguard. Fucking just running through the wall 24/7. You could punch it like in Rainbow Six and look through a little tiny. It was just, but I enjoyed it. I think that right now I'd give anything to spawn into a Bokeh hardpoint and go 80 and 79 because it was a fucking shit show. But the guns in the game were fun as hell to use. The MP40 in that game, I honestly, hate me if you want, it's going to go in A tier. The automaton, whatever you want to call it, this thing was fucking insane, dude. It was insane. I think this is going to be the last S tier gun, and if you want to shoot me, knock yourself out. You can roast me in the comments. I got that on my last video. It was just insanely good. And the STG in that game was piss poor. I mean, I think that's going to round out our D section. Now, I'm aware that some of you may not be happy with what I've decided. I'm aware. I'm looking over the list one more time, seeing if there's anything I would change. I'm tempted to move the MSMC into S. I'm tempted to move the ASM1 or the M8A7 to A. But I'm trying to leave these tiers fully fleshed out. I don't want it to be 30 things in A, These ads on the right side are fucking killing me. Nobody cares, Stofers. Yeah, I think this is how it's going to stay. Because if I start moving one thing, I'm going to move other things. It's going to keep going and going and going, and I'm never going to finish. So this is my official Call of Duty Black Ops 2 through Vanguard weapon tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you like it a lot, share it. If you want to see it again, consider adding it to your favorites. Anyway, it's been me, Switchy or Zach, and I will be back at a later date. Bye!